Hello and welcome everybody to the WCN. I'm here with Jameson Calvery, senior point guard, and Finn Larsh, one of my WCN associates. Jameson, welcome to the senior interview.
Thank you. Thank you for y'all having me on.
A couple questions here. With the first one being, what role has your team played in shaping your basketball journey, and how would you describe your leadership style?
I think I'll start with the leadership style because that first part's a thinker. It's a bit of a thinker of a question.
Absolutely.
What was that? How would I describe my leadership style, you said?
Yes, your leadership style.
I'd say that for me, I lead vocally mostly and then also by example. I think if you are not good enough to be a leader, like at anything that you do, if you're not well-versed or at least have some sort of experience in what you do, like if you're not a very good basketball player, then you can't be a leader of your team because nobody's going to want to listen to you.
Absolutely.
So I think one of the biggest things for me is that I make sure that I work hard day in and day out so that when I'm actually speaking up, everyone's like, yeah, that's someone that I'm listening to. I have no choice because this guy works as hard as he can every day.
Yeah.
Works his butt off.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And being the SGA president, how do you balance, again, the leadership responsibilities of that with being a key player on the basketball team, and what skills would you say you overlap with each of them?
Yeah, I'd say that overall, this is going to sound kind of like the last one, but overall, leadership in general is a very, it just spurs across all fields. Like, if you're a good leader in one category, it helps you with everything else. So I think with being SGA president, that type of just leadership over, the school as a whole at that point comes very natural to me because, before basketball, I was, like my freshman year, I was the captain of our freshman team. My sophomore year, I was the captain of our JV team. And then, this year, I'm the captain of our varsity team. It's just, leading in general is something that doesn't really change that much based on what you are leading. So leading in SGA does not seem that different to me than leading on the court or leading for, health and wellness club. So I think that there's definitely a huge overlap. I'd say that, for me, being a vocal leader is the biggest part of being a leader. So I'd say that my vocal leadership in basketball has definitely helped me to become a vocal president and voice the concerns of all the students at our school.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of correlations there from being a leader on the court and off the court, especially in the school being SGA president. Now kind of turn the faith-based environment. How has having that faith-based environment, being at a Catholic school, a Christian school, reflect how you play on the court?
Yeah, so I think a big thing about that is that one of Christ's biggest teachings is for us to be servant leaders and to just be selfless in all ways. And I think that carries over to basketball because if you're to be a leader on the basketball team or a captain, you can't be worried about yourself. You have to be worried about the team. You have to put the team first because if the captain doesn't put the team first, then how can you expect anyone else to put the team first? So I think the biggest part of faith and just at our school and with the team in general is that the preaching of servitude and selflessness is really just an important quality to have on the basketball court in general. So I think it carries over there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. So obviously you're a great leader, and we've all seen this, whether it's SGA, health and wellness, basketball. What person you say helped you always get those leadership qualities and you've really found as a role model from freshman through now?
Yeah, this is probably the easiest question I've ever been asked because this is just a no-brainer for me, but a lot of people don't know this anyways. My older brother, Noah, is definitely my biggest role model in all ways, and when he was a senior, he was the captain of the basketball team, the SGA president, health and wellness president. We did a lot of the same things, and I'd say that I definitely look to him and my mom. Everybody at our school loves my mom. She's the GOAT. She does, all the fun stuff here. So,
That's true.
I'd say that I definitely look to both of them because they're good examples of how you can be a leader that doesn't care what anyone else thinks and just basically doing you and how doing you kind of attracts people and gets people to like you and follow you in the first place. So I'd say definitely if I had to pick one, it'd be my brother, and then right underneath them is my mom. I'd say I'd definitely use them both as role models.
Absolutely. After being here for almost 4 years now, how has the environment changed now that you're a senior?
Yeah, I think the biggest change with the environment is that when you come in as a freshman, you're like the little puppy dog, just trying to survive, just trying to get through the day. And when I came in my freshman year, the seniors were like Donnie and like Calvin Karen and like so you walk in and like even like not even just them being older, but like you walk into school and like these dudes are like physically like huge, like low taper, massive dude, and like Donnie's like 6'8" and like Calvin Karen was like 6'6", and like there were other big kids in that class too, like the Sight kid and like the Luke Edmiston. So I think one of the biggest things is like being so physically underwhelming when you're a freshman coming in. You're just like looking around and you're kind of like scared of everything, like just not wanting to mess anything up. And I think like most freshmen in general would agree that like that's how it feels like when you come into high school.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah, but I think the biggest thing about being a senior is just that once you like mature with that age and you actually get like obviously you get physically bigger and you're not like the small guy to get kicked around anymore at the school, but also like now you're the oldest people on the campus. You've been at the school for the longest. So just having the experience of like knowing like, oh, this is the drill. Like we missed this class on these days. Like I can expect this from this class. I can expect this from this teacher. I know these people well. Like I think just having that kind of stability is probably what makes being a senior, like the change in the environment, being a senior is so much easier and just like so much more enjoyable.
Absolutely.
Now, our final question here is, do you have any advice for younger players on the freshman team, JV team, maybe the middle school team, as they work up to becoming high schoolers and hopefully playing on the varsity team?
Yeah, this is also one that I think about all the time because, like, when you get to be my age, not to sound like an old head, but when you get to be my age, you think about, like, oh, I wish when I was in 8th grade I would have been doing this. I wish when I was in, like, 9th grade I would have worked on this. I think the biggest thing is if you want to be a competitive basketball player at any, like, high school varsity level and beyond, you have to have, I think there's two main things. You have to have, I guess three. One, a three-point shot, but, like, everyone knows that. That's super obvious. But just the way that the game has changed, you have to have a three-point shot. I think the biggest thing is that you have to have a mid-range. I didn't start working on getting the mid-range until, like, my junior year ended. And then, like, I basically dedicated from, like, March of my junior year all the way to, like, November of my senior year. I was working, like, every day getting my midi, and that's, like, a huge opportunity to be scoring easy points every game because if you can hit a pull-up midi, you can't guard that because if they have to step up on your three and you can drive by them and then they're just running to get back to the paint to try to cut you off and you just rise up, then nobody can guard that. So pull-up midi for sure. And then I think the third thing that I would say is probably floaters. Floaters are pretty, like, taken for granted part of the game, I guess, because it should be an easy shot. You just float it up. But knowing when and how to shoot them is one of the biggest things for scoring more points in basketball.
Absolutely. And I know Vince said last question, but I kind of had a last question here as you were talking. What has been your favorite memory this season so far?
So, okay. So, on senior night, when we said our favorite memories, I had two obvious ones, and then after senior night was over, brought to my attention was a third memory that I had forgotten about. So I'll say the ones that I said first, and I'll say my special memory. First and most obvious, like, moment was hitting that Bayside game winner because, like,
That was huge.
that was, like, the only game
That was
winner.
a great shot, too.
It was like, I was playing a good game, too. Like, I think I had 11 points that game. It was just, like, a fun OT game against a rival school, and everyone was there, and, like, it was just like a storybook. And then I think my second one that I did say on senior night was, like, this is going to look, like, soft and, like, emotional, but, like, playing with Cooper Kurth for, like, all those years, like, being teammates. Because, like, we've been teammates and best friends since, like, 5th grade. So playing together for all those years is definitely a huge memory. And, like, it's been, like, a lot of the reason that both of us have, like, kept going and kept pushing through, like, hard basketball seasons to keep playing, just to play together. And then the one that was brought to my attention that I had forgot about, it wasn't this season. It was when I was a sophomore playing on JV. We were playing against Faith Academy, and let me just set the stage here. So at this point in the game, it's still the first half. I've already got 8 points and 5 steals, so I was balling out. 7 points and 5 steals. I was balling out at this point in the game. I don't know what I ate, but I ate something bad before the game. I think it was trail mix, and I could feel the acid coming up. And I can send this clip to you later to edit into the video because I do have it on my phone. I throw up. We're on offense, and the ball's getting passed around, and they're running a zone. I throw up all over my hands while we still have the ball. And I think Nick Russo's got the ball like down at the block, and I'm like throwing up on my hands at the 3-point line. And then I look up, and the ball's like coming at me because he passed it to me because he had no way of knowing that I was just like puking like crazy. And I caught it, and I like had nothing else to do, so I just like chucked it up. Like I just shot an instant 3 where I was barely looking at the rim. Like in midair, there's actually like puke spinning off the ball.
Oh, that's disgusting. That is so nasty.
Off the glass, I banked in the 3, and then the very next, like when they inbounded it, I like grabbed the kid on purpose and like fouled him to stop the play, and then I just threw up everywhere on the court, and I had to go back to the locker room.
That's disgusting.
But yeah, that's probably my probably my basketball memory of all time.
Hey, that's a memory for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely be telling my grandkids about that one.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you for coming out for this interview, Jameson. Me and Mitchell really want to say thank you. This will be great to add one final hurrah for basketball season until we got the game at Orange Beach. Is that Saturday?
We've got Jackson tomorrow, yeah.
Not Orange Beach, Jackson.
No, you're good. We've played Orange Beach so many times lately that it would feel like we're playing Orange Beach again. It feels like we play them every day. But, yeah, Jackson tomorrow. And if we lose, we're done. If we win, we'll keep going. So hopefully we'll win and be on our way to Montgomery after that.
Absolutely.
Yep.